If the hotel doesn't have an AI agent, they won't exist anymore.
A guest might say to Quinta, hey, that's a cool rate, book it for me.
We're trying to give the optimum volume of data to be sure that the level of hallucination is really, really, really low.
The agent is now capable to consume the information. It becomes a true companion, a true assistant.
If Waze tell you, go through the courtyard of that farm, you will go through the courtyard of that farm because you are sure that Waze is going to give you the best option. You see what I mean? I let it do the job because it's better than me.
In every hotel of the world, someone is sitting and thinking of what could be the best room allocation given the guests are coming in. So you're playing room Tetris all the time. It takes an hour every morning. And honestly, if you do it every day, it's fundamentally boring.
What is going to remain at the end? What is important? It's always the same.
Hello everyone, Mauricio Schiller here, talking from the Schulering Hub, Talking Hospitality podcast. Today we are talking about structured data, AI agents, MCP, guest journeys and operations. And I have two heavyweights of the industry with me. I have Philip von Ditfurth, founder of Apaleo PMS, serving 100 keys into 2,000 plus hotels in 32 countries. And I have Daniel Doppler from Quinta, former QuickTax, serving 1,900 hotels in 72 countries. So welcome to Prague.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
It's awesome to have you here. We are in Hotel Yalta here in the center of Prague. So it's a very unique opportunity, very unique for us. My only live podcast was with Daniel Doppler here in Prague in the hotel and the casino ambassador.
Yeah, down the street, yes.
It was a very interesting conversation. When it comes to data, when it comes to AI, MCPs, AI agents, and all that tech talk that's coming to our industry right now. And I believe that not only me, but a lot of people are asking, what does it actually mean? But today I want to start with you, Daniel, because Quinta, what the hell? What the hell?
What the hell?
What is Quinta?
It was a hell, yes, it was a hell.
I've known you for probably 8 years, and it was QuickTax for quite a long time. So please, what Quinta means, and does it change anything into the business?
Originally, the name of the company was QuickText, and we was quite famous in the industry because we have created the first chatbot in hospitality 8 years ago. We are the kindergarten, you remember? Okay. And, but the market is completely changing. Probably chatbots are going to die and going to be replaced by AI agent. Okay. And AI agent are based on data, good AI agent. Okay. And by chance, because we are not genius, we are just lucky. By chance, we have created 8 years ago to feed our chatbot, we have created a database. And at that time, this database was quite small, around 700, 800 data points, but we increased the number of data points every month since 8 years, and now this data point has 3,700 this database, has 3,700 data points. That means we have created by chance the deepest database regarding hospitality in the world. And this database is like the PMS, the foundation of Agentic AI. That's why now we are more and more a data company, and we are not anymore an AI company. Then we have to change the name. Then we were talking about quintessence of data, and suddenly it appears like that. Quintessence of data, if you shrink it, it's Quinta. That's the story.
And you spoke about data points, right? From 800 data points to 3,400 data points. What is actually a data point?
Yes. A good example is better than a long speech, as you know, okay? What is a data point? The dress code of the restaurant is a data point. The length of the swimming pool is a data point. The temperature of the fridge is a data point. The price of the breakfast is a data point. And an hotel is full of data point. And very frequently, the only place you can find the data point is the website. But the website of the hotel is only 200 data point. Booking.com is 500 data point, and it's not enough. It's enough for human interaction, but it's not enough for AI interaction. For AI interaction, you need a maximum of data. And by chance, because we are lucky, we are not genius, I repeat, we have created the deepest database in the world. That means we are the most able to be ready for the agentic AI.
And now you mean that chatbots are dying. Yeah, strong statement there. Does it mean that your product is changing?
Yes, obviously. For them, the chatbot are still alive because the website are still alive. But you have imagined a world without website. Okay? Why? Because just to understand what is the tsunami that is coming, in 1997, the world has changed from finding an hotel through a travel agent to the internet. It started in 1997, and in 2001, 2002, it was over. Internet was everywhere. 2026 is the same. Before internet, and after 2026, we are entering the world of the AI agent. But it won't last 5 years. In 1 year, 1.5 years maximum, it will be done, okay? And in that case, if the hotel doesn't have an AI agent, they won't exist anymore. They won't exist anymore because people will use agent AI agent, and an agent is going to talk with another agent AI agent, okay? In that case, we don't need the website anymore. It's not so obvious. That means websites are going to remain alive, but they are going to be less and less and less useful.
Very, very interesting. I'm quite anxious when I think about all these changes and how fast they are. But I think that's very interesting, that statement that websites are going to be useless because they are the center of data. And when we come to, let's talk about Apaleo a little bit. So, Philip, can you please talk more about Apaleo as the PMS and what makes Apaleo special in the hospitality?
I'm happy to do so. I mean, property management is one of the core, we call it center of records of hotels. You know, all the reservations are in there, all the transactions, all the invoices, part of the accounting. So literally every hotel uses a PMS for running its operations. However, most of the PMS are closed monolithic systems. And we talked about the necessity of data, the quintessence of data. What if the data is not accessible? So one of the key aspects is to have every piece of data available, all the information that Daniel was referring to, but in addition, all the transactional data. So if you want to know how many rooms are still available, what is the price of the room at this given moment in time, you need to ask the PMS. The PMS needs to be able to give you that data as easy as possible. So the more open the PMS, the more interconnectivity is possible with nice tools like Quinta or booking engines, revenue management system, you name them. It's a whole ecosystem dependent on the availability of data. That is why we created Apaleo from day one as an open platform. So it is exactly the opposite of an all-in-one kind of closed system. It's a fully open architecture based on so-called open APIs. We'll come to that probably later again, which means 100% of the information is available, and on top, 100% of potential actions are also available, which means you can not only ask for a room, like an agent asking, what does the double room cost tonight? You can also make it available, so you can make it bookable and reduce the available inventory. So that is why we created Apaleo as a true open platform, and we did it in multiple steps. First, we created the platform, then we created an app store with over 300 applications that are integrated with the platform, and Quinta is one of them, of course. But we also opened the world to what is now rising, will be the rising star to Agentic Hospitality, because we allow agents to consume the data or to take actions, letting Apaleo become not only the center of records, but also the center of actions, so that agents can retrieve information, send back information to Apaleo, but they also can take action. And the action point is very, very relevant when we come to the topic of agentic hospitality. It needs to be actionable data, not only information to see where we are, but also to take action to get to the next level.
Let me ask you a little bit more about the API then, as we are here, because what makes API such an important acronym in the industry? Why is having an API PMS is more valuable than not?
The core problem of hospitality was that the different systems that were involved couldn't talk to each other in a structured language. API is nothing but a structured language for applications to talk to each other. Having an API-first approach, like Apaleo has, means you are open to easily talk with any application out there. Any application out there can start communication with Apaleo as a platform. That is the true benefit of API first. And if you not only cover the information, but also the actions that an application can also perform an action in the property management, then you have basically the whole possibility to interact with or between applications at scale.
And this is how maybe Quinta comes into place as well, with this data that is feeding the systems like Apaleo. How the hotels manage the data, where they get the data from, how they update this data right now?
It depends a lot on the systems they use. I mean, the hotel is the one to decide which rooms to offer, in which rate, to which group, to which segment, and so forth. So that is the business decision of the hotelier. And the problem today is that in many systems, it's very hard to manage the data. But more important, once the data is in there, it sits in a closed system. So applications like Quinta don't have natural access to it. If I'm a hotelier and if I define the prices, they should be instantly available through open APIs or alikes to applications like Quinta, because Quinta wants to respond to a guest requesting a price for a room. And later in the game, once the price has been communicated, a guest might say to Quinta, hey, that's a cool rate, book it for me. And that is where 99% of the systems already stop, and where we continue by allowing applications like Quinta to then also book a room on behalf of the guest and make it a kind of compelling guest experience, chatting through a intelligent system like Quinta, and really do the whole guest experience through it.
So we are talking about data points. Apaleo is feeding these data points. How much work will the hotelier, the hotel manager, have to do to update the data points?
To make a long story short, in the world of agentic AI, the hotel have to focus on two things at the beginning, to make it simple. First of all, availability, rates, and inventory. That's what they can do with Apaleo, okay? And on the other hand, the structural data of the hotel that they are going to do with us, okay? And they have to merge all this information into the same box. And what is the name of that box? The MCP, okay? The famous MCP that everybody is talking about. The famous MCP at the beginning is availability, rates, inventory, made by Apaleo, and the structural data made by us. And with that box, they can connect all the AI. They can connect the AI from the TV, the AI from the bot, the AI from the robot, the AI from ChatGPT, etc., etc. The same box will feed all the AI in the world. What does it mean? It means that all the AI will have the same answer if you ask the same answer, same question to all of them, okay? And believe me, today it's not the case. You see what I mean? That means it's not only a question of synchronization, it's also a question of distribution, okay? The information has to be the same everywhere. It seems logical. It seems logical. It's not. It's not, because today it's not the case.
How does it affect the guest?
Today, when you are using AI, you have very frequently hallucination. Hallucination, that means when there is a missing information somewhere or too much information, the AI, they don't really know what is true, what is not, and they invent something. Thanks to the MCP and to the data that are inside, the level of hallucination is dropping because the information is there. They don't have, the system doesn't have to invent the information. That means you can imagine that in very close future, you will have 3 different periods of booking. First of all, the exploring time. We are looking for something. We are searching an hotel, okay? The AI will give you different answers, okay? You will make a selection of a couple of hotels. And after, there will be another phase. You're going to try to verify that the information is right. What you're going to do? You're going maybe to go on the website, maybe you are going to ask the personal AI of the hotel, etc., to double check the information is okay. And after you will book. Or you can book wherever you want. You can book directly at the hotel, or maybe because you are booking.com level 6 genius, I don't know what, you're going to book on booking.com. But at the end, you book this hotel because you found all the information about the hotel, rates, availability, and global information.
Mm-hmm. I believe that when it comes to data, when it comes to AI, everyone is dreaming that we can have our hotels fully functional, autonomous, and we can sit down and have our caipirinhas by the beach, right?
Yeah, and spend time with the guests.
Spend time with the guests, exactly. Also maybe.
not typing in data, but spending time with the guest is a dream of many hoteliers. Yeah.
So how does AI actually leverage on operation?
Daniel's box, MCP, is the USB for APIs. So it is kind of the interface for large language models to talk with APIs, which means if I ask ChatGPT, could you come up with the best possible room allocation given the number of guests arriving today? You can give through MCP that agency context. So who has a certain loyalty level, who is a returning guest, who is a one-night stay booking.com guest. And based on these insights, which you get through MCP, you can teach the MCP to take certain rules. That is the context, where you tell the agent what to do with the information available. And it's not algorithmic, if this then that, it's rather a base for reasoning, which means the agent, and we are on the rise of agentic hospitality, the agent is now capable to consume the information, so he has perception, and he is able to action, which means he can come up with the best logic of room allocation, which guests to put where. And first he would give it as a proposal, and the hotel staff would decide, yes, we go there. And soon after, if it always, if the staff always confirms the proposal, the staff will say, oh, come on, do it. You do it so good, we don't need further 4 eyes principle. So it means it becomes a true companion, a true assistant of the hotel staff. And this is opening this opportunity that staff will no longer type into a computer while the guest is in front of them. It will just talk as you talk with ChatGPT. Oh, please check in Daniel. And the MCP will say, okay, there's one Daniel arriving today, so I check him in. And I know Daniel is for the 5th time in this hotel. And I will see the preferences, I will see everything what I need to know to find the best possible room. And can you imagine, in every hotel of the world, every morning, someone, very likely, someone is sitting and thinking of what could be the best room allocation given the guests are coming in. And if this just is taken away by such an assistant, it's a tremendous amount of time you save. And it also explains very well that AI agency, hospitality agents, they are not there to replace the staff. They are there to free time from the staff, to be hosts again. And by being introduced now, we see, as Daniel mentioned, we see 26 as the year of the rise of AI agents. When they see that these assistants are truly helping the staff, it will become the new normal, because at the end, convenience beats everything. If it's convenient to talk to an agent, everybody will do it. No anxiety, no fear of adopting, as long as you increase convenience. And the convenience we add, it's both for the guests, because the guest can use the LLM to ask for example, Quinta and Apaleo. What is the length of the pool? What is the price of the room? How can I book? But it also allows the staff to say, okay, please allocate my rooms. Please do an upgrade for a specific person. Please give me the information which I need to know to close my day. And once this becomes convenient, it will be a killer application like email back then, because it will be way more convenient. Think of the property management systems today to perform those actions like room allocation. Is you're playing room Tetris all the time. It takes an hour every morning. And honestly, if you do it every day, it's fundamentally boring. It's something you don't want to do. That's why the AI agents will have an easy game once they kind of prove to be reliant. That's why you use them as assistant first. And if you see it's generally every day taking the right actions, you start to switch on the autopilot button. And then you can tell him, look, whenever you are not sure, let me know. So the agent might say, I have allocated 98 of 100 rooms, but those two I'm not sure what to do, tell me. Or asks for assistance. And this is the way you take out anxiety of the game and you create trust. And AI agents will find very nice ways, A, to create that level of trust, B, to remove anxiety. And they will, from our point of view, very quickly, I follow Daniel with the speed of adoption, they will quickly become the new normal. And in a very, very good way, if they find the right path to first assist the hotel staff and then release workload from them to be host again.
You spoke a few times about being comfortable with using the technology. And I believe you both as selling technology to hotels is probably one big challenge that you both have, is going through that anxiety of technology that we won't lie, it's in the hotel industry. People are very resistant to change. Before we talking today, I was doing some research and I saw that there is about 40% of people are using already AI to do the booking, the travel. And when it comes to Gen Z, already 60%. And if they do once, 95% of the people do a second time and they will keep doing it on AI. Do you believe that AI has that different type of mindset because it's about consumer as well? The consumer is using, and maybe the operational people, the people that are working will adopt that faster.
You remember Waze at the beginning? At the beginning, Waze say, turn right. Say, no. You are stupid, Waze. I'm going straight right. And suddenly you were stuck in the traffic. And now, when you're using Waze, if Waze tell you, go through the courtyard of that farm, you will go through the courtyard of that farm because you are sure that Waze is going to give you the best option. You see what I mean? It's going to be exactly the best. At the beginning, you say, oh, okay. You say, no, you're going to do your own way. And finally say, okay, I let it do the job because it's better than me. As simple as that.
And as so many people are getting incredibly fast used to AI because everybody uses it privately, the adoption speed in a professional environment will be faster than ever. So the benefit of AI, the multimodality that you can type in something, you can speak to it, it doesn't care about language. It will allow hoteliers to quickly train new staff members, independent of nationality. And sometimes it is so incredible how easy it has now become to use platforms like Apaleo, because they are no longer this kind of old monolithic all-in-one that tries to cover every edge case, which happens 2 times a year, for which you would need a one-day training. You can instantly start covering 98% of the use cases. You just start. You type in a question and it will tell you. You will ask for it for some guidance, and it will guide you. And then you will say, look, let's do this and that, and it will fulfill your task. So it's a complete different approach compared to the way that systems needed to be trained to users. All these elements, they will boost adoption, and it will feel like the most natural behavior, like the thing we always wanted to do with systems is now possible with AI, basically with large language models. And what we talked about, the box of Daniel, MCP, is literally just the connection between the LLM, ChatGPT, and the systems. So through that, we will see a rise, and it's the main reason is convenience that will speed up adoption.
Well, let's talk about MCP, right?
Just before the MCP, I had a very strange experience 10 days ago. I have a video call with a prospect in Indonesia, a very big chain, etc. I was in front of the chief operation, blah, blah, blah. I made the demonstration, I made everything, I danced on the table, blah, blah, blah. And the guy say, okay, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT if Quinta is good for us. Live, he did it live. I was sweating like that. And by chance, ChatGPT, yes, Quinta, blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, the guy is a chief operating officer of a big hospitality group, and he was trusting ChatGPT like it was his mother. You see what I mean? By chance, the answer was right for us. Okay, it doesn't hallucinate.
No, but it's very interesting. I'm taking the habit now to ask about the person that I'm going to meet. I'm asked just to Gemini or GPT. I just ask, who is this person? Should I trust them? Yeah. And see what it's going to come back. Normally it's positive, but we never know. We've been talking a lot about the box, the MCP. What MCP stands for?
Model Context Protocol. It's basically that you give it is about the interface itself, and the main thing is the C in the middle, context. Daniel referred to possible hallucination of AI, and what you want to do is whenever you touch systems or you talk with LLMs, you want to give them as much context as possible to reduce hallucination, to reduce creative answers, as you mentioned, Daniel, and context does that. So it really allows you to say, if the question is about availability, here is the direct connect to the precise information, how many rooms are available. And that is how LLMs are guided. So ChatGPT does not try to invent an answer. The price is 100, 2 rooms are available. It will go that route through the context. So the context protocol is allowing the large language models to find the precise answer instead of hallucinating. And that is the whole secret. And if you do that all across the board, so with all the data points that Daniel and Quinta has collected, and if you do it with Apaleo, with all the transactional data that you need to perform an action, you basically, in real time, teach LLMs where to retrieve the data from, how to perform the action. And in a transactional world, you want safety. I mean, latest when it comes to payment, you don't want to hallucinate anyhow. In that sense, this context guides you to the right operation, to the right data, and it will also teach the LLM in some way how to answer. And that context is crucial in any transactional world. And at the end, when it comes to property management, we're talking about financial transactions, we're talking about revenues, we're talking about business. And in a business context, it is very important to have that kind of guardrail for any large language model. And that is, again, also why it's so important that it must be an open protocol, and MCP is an open protocol, so that across applications, this guardrailing leads to the best possible result for the user. Get the right information, make it actionable, have a right and brilliant experience for the purpose, for the intention that you have, And if you can perform it via an LLM, if the intention is rightly understood and then executed, this is the exact same base for the agency. And Daniel referred before in our conference today that agents will have the context. They will know about your preferences. They will know about you. And so you will be able to tell your personal agent to book a room for you in Paris. And the agent will apply all the musts that you want personally, and it will perform these actions. And therefore, the context and the topic MCP cannot be kind of highlighted enough, because it's so important in the world of AI that you put creativity together with structure and make it actionable.
So if I would use my simplistic mind here, context means knowledge.
Yep.
Yeah?
Knowledge, guardrails, context.
All in one box.
Yeah. What you have to know is where the hallucinations are coming from when you're using AI. Mainly, not enough data. If the data doesn't exist, the AI don't like to say, I don't know. They don't like that. Then they try always to give you an answer. And in that case, it will hallucinate, probably. But there is another problem, too much data. If you have too much data, it is the opposite. Because too much data, sometimes the same data can be on two different information sources, and the information is not the same. That means, okay, which one is the good one? Hallucination. Not enough data, too much data. And the last one is the prompt. The way the people asking the question, okay? Sometimes, if I ask you the same question in two different ways, you will ask properly the first way, not properly the second way. We cannot do nothing about that one. But we can work on not enough data or too much data. And this is what we are doing with Philip. We are trying to give the optimum volume of data, not the maximum, the optimum volume of data, to be sure that the level of hallucination is really, really, really low.
And Daniel highlighting a very important point, the consistency of data. So if you have a price for a breakfast 2 times with different prices, I mean, it's a recipe for confusion. So what Daniel does, what Quinta does, it leverages the consistency of data. And the more we reach consistent data, the clearer and the cleaner the execution will be. And that is also one of the things beside the prompting, which is more on the user side. We have to learn how to phrase our intention so that LLMs really understand and that LLMs are getting the right information to execute on the intention. And that is something where, yeah, it follows the old principle, garbage in, garbage out. If I ask book a room, how, what shall it do? If I say I need a double room in Paris for tonight and for 3 nights or whatever, then it is the better context. And we have to learn this prompting.
I'm thinking about as a hotelier now, right? I know that I need a PMS for my property.
Yeah, that's pretty easy.
No, you don't need a PMS. You need a smart PMS. That's not the same.
True. But I know now that I need my data, right? So
you don't need your data. You need structured, reliable data.
Yeah. Who set up the MCP?
The MCP is treated as infrastructure which exists, but MCP needs structured, consistent data. And it is the shape of and the nature of the systems that the better they are, the more structured, the more consistent they give MCP access to data. And as the range of information is so wide, we truly believe that this is nothing that can be achieved by one system, this old all-in-one approach. The best of breed approach is way better to get there. So the consistency of data from Quinta in combination with the executionable part in Apaleo, that is then the best recipe. It's no longer the case that one party will address it. It's rather that the best possible connection between platforms like Quinta and Apaleo will lead to the best result.
Just to sum up the situation, the MCP has no real value. It's like when you're going to buy Louboutin shoes for your wife, the box has no value. The value is the shoes, okay, are the shoes. That means it's exactly for the MCP. An MCP, it's an empty box, okay? The value is in the data that Philip with Apaleo and myself, we are going to put in. And it can be done by Apaleo, it can be done by us, it can be done by the hotelier. If the hotelier has an IT team, they can create the MCP, and after we will put the information in the MCP. It's just a box.
So we had something from Blend as well that spoke about business intelligence, right? And I imagine that how does it blend together? Let's see if I can say.
You can blend. Let's blend it.
Blend is a brilliant example. If you take the fact that data is now way better accessible, whether it's from Quinta or Apaleo, doesn't matter. An intelligent platform like Blend can consume the data from different parts and can try to, again, check on a higher level for consistency, for insights. So if all of a sudden a deviation occurs, Blend might be the one detecting that deviation and is able to act on it. So informing the general manager of the hotel, hey, there's something happening, because we see a different behavior of a guest. We see a different kind of outcome in the numbers. So why don't you take a look? So basically, it's a kind of advisory system fed by data, which needs to be consistent, available through MCP, blah, blah, blah. We repeat ourselves, and then can create insight and make those insights actionable. And again, with the LLM, it's no longer kind of hidden in a dashboard. It might be just a message to the general manager. Hey, there's something going on in your restaurant. You better take a look. You better take a look. And this kind of addition or kind of collaboration between platforms will again kind of create new cases where the hotel staff can rely on modern platforms to achieve the best possible business outcome.
So it's a brain.
It's part of the brain. I think the brain is no longer one single object. It's rather a connection of sub-brains. And if you connect them in the right way, you can gain additional insights, and Blend is good in that and trying to give additional advisory, where, again, the principle, everybody does the best what it can do on its own level, and it's no longer that you need kind of one overarching thing on top.
Getting to the last question here, our open question to really, let's brainstorm here. Where is hotel tech going?
I was telling you previously, what will remain at the end of the end of the end. That means you can disrupt any technology, but another technology, you know what, on-premise was disrupted by SaaS. SaaS has been disrupted by AI. AI has disrupted by agentic AI, etc. What is going to remain at the end? You know, when you try to clean everything, what is important? It's always the same. Availability, rate, inventory, and data. The two nucleuses of any hotel. Okay, because you cannot cut a nucleus. You see what I mean? At the end of the end, you can go deeper. Okay, we are really at the end of at the beginning of the process, and on top of that, we can add so many things, Blend included. That means intelligence, knowledge, intelligence. What's the difference between intelligence and knowledge? I'm gonna give you a very simple example. You are very clever people. Intelligent people, I'm going to ask you a very simple question that you're going to understand, that you're going to visualize, but you will be totally unable to answer. Let's start the test. What is the distance between Earth and Moon? You understood my question. You visualized my question, but you are totally unable to answer. That's intelligence and knowledge. You have the intelligence, you don't have the knowledge. Then, with all that, we have created a new kind of knowledge. And this new kind of knowledge is going to feed a new intelligence. That is what Blend is doing, okay? Intelligence, knowledge, intelligence.
I think the example is nice because the distance Moon and Earth is constantly changing, and so we need to be open to constant change.
Sorry, what is the average distance?
And so there's an escape route always. Now, what I think is that with the rise of MCP and Agentic Hospitality, we will see a new level of infrastructure for guests as well as for hoteliers. Way more comprehensible, way more easy to use, natural language, easy communication. And that, I think, will make the biggest difference, A, in speed of adoption, and also B, in perceived change. Because if you see staff talking to the property management system, like you having a tablet in your hand, and you ask, hey, Daniel wants to do ABC, and the assistant tells you, oh, that's cool. We have this treatment available, and his wife can do that, and blah, blah, blah. And shall I organize it for you? You tell him, oh, yes, please do so. And if this is the new way we communicate with intelligent infrastructure, we will see a complete new way of how hospitality can be delivered. And as this is so tangible for us, definitely, and also quickly for traditional hoteliers as well, it has a true nature of allowing us to get to the next level of hospitality.
By the way, if you are looking to different articles on the internet regarding the different strategies, you can see that Hilton, Hyatt, Marriott, and Accor have 4 different strategies. That means all these people that are very, very smart, they're not stupid people. They have 4 different strategies. What does it mean? Nobody knows. Nobody knows, okay? We are the raider of the lost ark, okay? And I don't know who is going to find the ark. I have no idea.
One last question, just because it was very interesting answers, okay? One last question. Last time that we had this big change, like the introduction of the internet and platforms coming as Booking.com, Expedia, and getting in the middle of the hotel sales, there was a boom in the number of hotels, right? Because it allowed more hotels to sell in an easier way. And here in Prague, there was a massive boom of the number of hotels that are available because now it's easier to find, right? It's easier to sell. Do you think that we're going to have a new transformation on what accommodation means with the inclusion of?
Absolutely. I mean, we came up with API first platform for hospitality, which meant we were allowing new hospitality concepts to come up with a fully digitized business model. So staffless operations, the whole booking journey is digital, and it's tailored for a specific generation or group of travelers, and it didn't exist before. Now that has become even easier and easier. So that means that new concepts of hospitality will come up and traditional ones will evolve. So these new technologies, they truly facilitate a change in the existing business model, but they also facilitate new business models coming up. And the creativity is endless. So we will probably see complete new ways of how accommodation, how hospitality is delivered. And that is the exciting part, because the systems, the infrastructure, that's why I'm so keen on infrastructure. The infrastructure does not limit that creativity. So the more open we are, the more we are ready to also step into new levels of hospitality, new concepts, new ideas. And this is what I see coming, because whenever you try to limit something, you're on the bad side. And whenever you try to, facilitate new ideas, that's the good side where we want to be.
During the gold race in California a long time ago, who were the winner? The winner were the people who were providing the swimmel, okay.
Infrastructure.
We are the swimmel providers.
Exactly.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for the conversation. I really appreciate it. Thanks for your time. I hope that you enjoy Prague. Daniel, it was a pleasure
Nice to meet
have
you
you here. Philip, Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Schulering, thank you very much for listening or watching this. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.